Jay, thank you very much. And what a day it is today after yesterday's rain. Goodlettsville, Tennessee, and Endwell, New York. And those are the fans of the team from Goodlettsville. They represent the Southeast, the Mid-Atlantic region, and the team from New York, who has not lost a game all summer long. They are 20-0. It's a great day here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and we can't wait to get it started.
This Little League World Series.
It's gone! Three-run home run for Ryan Harlow. Right field and deep. Goodlettsville, Tennessee is going to win with a walk-off double. Truly one of the spectacles of the summer, Williamsport, Pennsylvania, as the Little League World Series presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes continues today at Lomity Stadium, where it's the kids from Goodlettsville, Tennessee, the same team that was here a couple of years ago, and the boys from Maine, Endwell, New York, whose season last year ended in the regionals, and they didn't get here. And now they are, and they are enjoying it like everyone else. Headlines of the Little League World Series. We got some parity this year. Japan eliminated from title contention. They lost to Canada and then Curacao to go 0-2. California survived. They were in the losers bracket. Get a terrific pitching performance from that guy right there, Victor Lizarraga. And they had plenty of offense to win. They knocked Texas out. So Texas and Japan 0-2. And Panama, just about 5-10 minutes ago, emerged from a tight one against Australia 3-2, and they go to 2-0 at the Little League World Series. And 2-0 at the Little League World Series means a lot. Go 2-0, you can set your pitching up. Last 8 teams to win the whole thing started 2-0, and that's what both Endwell, New York, and Goodlettsville, Tennessee will be attempting to do on the field today. So we'll keep an eye on the 2-0, but a loss today doesn't mean you're eliminated from anything. Welcome, everybody. Alongside John Kruk, I'm Carl Ravitch. This should be a real good one. We got a chance to talk to both the teams before, and you got the sense that they understand what it's about. But I thought Joey Hale, the manager, put it best. We're not thinking about the next game or the game after that. It's just about being here, really.
And it really is for them. You know, they got the big walk-off win in their first game against Oregon. Of course, you know, they're led by the Jones twins, Tanner and Tyler. You know, they get on base, they score runs. We mentioned that in the first game, and yeah, it's going to be a tough one for the New York team. Yeah,
his perspective was outstanding. You want to go down that road? Let's talk about the two boys, and they are both twins.
Yeah, you know, they both accounted for all 3 runs that the team from Tennessee scored. Tanner, of course, got him going with the big home run, and then in the bottom of the 6th inning, down 2-1. Tanner, Tyler, both single. They advance on a throw to third base, and then, of course, Robert Carroll with the big walk-off double.
All right, speaking of those twins, with more on them, let's go down to Jamie Sire. James?
Yeah, Carl, like most siblings, and especially most twins, Tyler and Tanner are ultra competitive. Their dad, Jeremy, is one of the coaches, and he jokes that they compete at everything. Even if it's just putting toothpaste on a toothbrush, that becomes a race. Now, I talked to both boys before the game. They said it mostly happens in sports and with stats. I asked if they were aware that they have the exact same number of hits since the start of regionals. They said at the same time, yes, we are very aware. Tanner has the edge in home runs and RBI. Tyler says he cares more about winning, but it would still be nice to get a home run today.
Sure, that would be nice. It's going to be a difficult task, though. They're dealing with a New York team that hasn't lost. We got a chance to watch them through the regionals. Ryan Harlow's the really good pitcher, has already thrown, and today they give it to a guy who may be even a little bit better, and Michael Mancini.
Yeah, Michael Mancini. Now, in the regional championship game, he struggled with fastball command, so he went more to the breaking ball. But dynamic stuff for both of these kids. And we talked to the coaches, and they said, look, you know, we played with the idea of bringing back Ryan Harlow. It's because of the rainout. But Michael Mancini, look at this breaking ball. A hard, sharp breaking ball. A above average fastball for a Little League kid. But if he can command the fastball and then get that curveball over, it's going to be a tough day for Tennessee.
Maine, Endwell, New York, not far from here, about a 2-hour drive. They'll have plenty of fans as they get set for their game against Goodlettsville. We can't wait to see it after this.
Little League World Series is presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes cereal. They're great, and in part by the Odyssey from Honda, official vehicle of Little League.
And the team from Maine, Endwell, New York, a suburb of Binghamton, New York, about 2.5, 3 hours from New York City. Close to Ithaca, New York, and Syracuse, New York, take the field to take on Goodlettsville, Tennessee. We'll focus on the Southeast region. And Goodlettsville, Tennessee was actually the first team from the United States to punch their ticket to Williamsport. They ended up in their regional championship beating the team from Peachtree City of Georgia 15-3. Let's meet the boys. Today's lineup brought to you by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
Hi, my name is Robert Carroll. My favorite player is Dustin Pedroia.
Hi, my name is Easton Dillard. My favorite player is Derek Jeter.
Hi, my name is Brock Duffer. My favorite baseball player is Craig Kimbrell.
Hi, my name is Ethan Jackson, and my favorite baseball player is Bryce Harper.
Hi, my name is Tanner Jones, and my favorite baseball player is Mike Trout. Hi, my name is Tyler Jones, and my favorite baseball player is Mookie Betts.
Hi, my name is John Henry Knotts, and my favorite baseball player is David Price.
Hi, my name is Zach McWilliams. My favorite player is David Ortiz.
Hi, my name is RJ Moore. My favorite baseball player is Mookie Betts.
Hi, my name is Ryan Oden, and my favorite baseball player is Giancarlo Stanton.
Hi, my name is Isaiah Page, and my favorite baseball player is Domingo Ayala.
Hi, my name is Carson Rucker, and my favorite baseball player is Derek Jeter.
Hi, my name is John Luke Simmons, and my favorite player is Randy Johnson.
Joey Hale's the manager of this team. They beat Rhode Island 7-2 on Thursday. And Hale, his club, watched a 3-2 victory as they take on the team that beat Rhode Island. And Joey's been here before. He says the second time you just know a little bit more about what to do and how to deal with things, but you just can't beat being on this field and looking out at that crowd, the color on the hill. Michael Mancini's first pitch of the game. Good pitch in there for a strike to Tanner Jones.
Yeah, and I think against the Jones boys, Tanner and Tyler, you might see that breaking ball be featured a lot from Michael Mancini.
Outside Mancini, he's usually the shortstop on this team. He's one of two star pitchers, he and Ryan Harlost. Harlost pitched in that game against Rhode Island, 5 innings, didn't give up a run. Another good one there as Tanner Jones swings on top of it. Jamie talked about the production from the Jones brothers. 2 home runs in the regional with 7 RBIs for Tanner. On the ground to first. Jap Hopko steps on the bag for 1 out. You got family Jones in attendance. You have Jeremy, who of course is one of the coaches, the 2 boys that are on the field, and there's Jeremy. So Mom has been through all of this for many, many years and will continue to do so. That's Sandy, who sits in the stands and yells encouragement.
You see that pitch right there for Michael Mancini, a rare fastball that he does throw. You see Tyler Jones was really late on the swing too. He probably looking for that first pitch breaking ball.
Beautiful day here. Wind actually blowing out, so the outfield is playing deep. Breaking ball gets a piece of the plate. 0-2, and you can see the beautiful crowd that's on the hill. I'm always amazed at just the variety of colors. Look at the temperature, 77 degrees. And it is from near and far they come, with young and old. He went. Good start for Mancini. His last 3 games, John, he's gone 15 2/3 innings with 32 strikeouts, so you can add another one.
Yeah, and that's the pitch right there, the breaking ball. He gets Tyler Jones to check swing on. And if he, like I said earlier, if he commands the fastball and with that curveball, Tennessee's could be in trouble.
Zach McWilliams, the 3rd baseman, bats now. Zach's a 5'8", 135-pounder. We've seen a lot of LeBron James on SportsCenter with the conversation he did with Rachel Nichols. In there for a strike. can't help but be enjoying a day like this.
Yeah, this is pretty incredible. Just the hill's almost packed. The kids are coming down on the cardboard boxes, and we get to sit here and watch Little League baseball. Lucky, aren't we?
Ugh. Third baseman is McWilliams. Woo, inside. That fastball that Mancini was throwing when we saw him at the regionals, he had a hard time getting it down. Today it does look like he's done that a little bit better. But behind 3-1 to a good hitter. So what do you do at 3-1?
Throw the breaking ball.
Throw a breaking ball. An incredible level of comfort he has with that pitch. Did it again, and it goes foul.
I can honestly say I don't think when I was 12 or 13 I ever saw anyone throw a breaking ball, much less try to hit it.
Really impressive outing for Mike Mancini to start. He strikes out 2, and you can see the fans of Maine Endwell who have come here in droves stand up and salute. We'll see Mancini. He'll lead things off for Maine Endwell when we come back. Yeah. Beautiful blue skies, and above the hill, of course, the museum where you can see all about the history of the Little League. This is the 70th Little League World Series. And you go up to that region where it says MA, Mid-Atlantic. Endwell, New York, just over the Pennsylvania-New York border. And it's a pretty straight shot, 112 miles. Down 81 onto 80, and you're here. Let's meet the kids from Maine, Endwell, New York, who haven't lost this summer.
Hi, my name is Jude Abadessa, and my favorite baseball player is Bryce Harper.
Hi, my name is Billy Dundon. My favorite baseball player is Derek Jeter.
Hi, my name is Jaden Fanera. My favorite baseball player is Jose Fernandez.
Hi, my name is James Fellows, and my favorite player is Dustin Pedroia.
My name is Ryan Howard. My favorite baseball player is Bryce Harper.
Hi, my name is Jack Hopko, and my favorite player is Babe Ruth.
Hi, my name is Michael Mancini, and my favorite baseball player is Derek Jeter.
Hi, my name is Jordan Owens, and my favorite player is Mike Trout.
My name is Brody Raleigh. My favorite baseball player is Dustin Pedroia.
Hi, my name is Connor Rush, and my favorite baseball player is Giancarlo Stanton.
My name is Justin Ryan. My favorite baseball player is David Price.
Babe Ruth, David Price. Price is on the mound looking for his first win ever against his former team, the Rays. Baseball Tonight will be on this evening. Scott Rush is the manager of these kids who have become a pretty tight-knit group from Endwell, New York. Many of them have been playing together since they were 5 years old. And there's a handful of them that were part of that team last year that ended up falling short in the regionals. I don't know, if you played 20 games and won them all, there's a pretty good vibe about that club, huh?
Yeah, it seems to build a lot of chemistry when you don't never lose.
So it's Brock Duffer who's going to get the nod today for the team from Goodlettsville, which is just outside of Nashville, Tennessee. His first pitch was a breaking ball, and he misses. Mancini's the pitcher, and you know, you always focus on the top 3. Well, they've played a game. They won at 7-2, and the 1-2-3 hitters in that game went 6 of 8, had 2 doubles, a homer, and 7 RBIs.
It's okay. You like a lot of runs and hits. Watching Duffer warm up, it looks like you know, every pitch he threw, even in warm-ups, would be a weight to left-handed hitters. So I think if you're in that dugout for the team from New York and a left-handed hitter, you might want to look out there.
2-1 in the dirt, and it's not that far down. You look to the third base coach and you see Dad. One of the reasons Michael's so good is Dad's commitment to it, and the rest of the people from Endwell, New York. And now Mancini's ahead 3-1.
3-1.
As we saw in the regional, one of the unique parts of this lineup, John, is their ability to go left, right, left, right, left, right.
Yeah, it makes it hard for the starting pitcher to get dialed in on one side of the plate against, one specific hitters or group of hitters.
Well, their goal is to get on base, set the table, and Michael Mancini has done that right away. Joey Hale goes to the mound to have a little conversation. We take a look at the city profile of Endwell, New York, 7 miles west of Binghamton. They had a football program that from 11 to 14 won 62 games. It was part of a 30 for 30 ESPN special about that Endwell High football team. During their first game, all the kids were let out of practice. The coach drove here. As I mentioned, it's about a 2-hour drive to root on these kids. Many of these kids were ball boys for that football program.
And it was neat, too, after their first game win. All the players went over and pointed to them, waved to them. They were out sitting in the left field on the hill.
Jude Abadessa.
There's a shocker. Old Jude swings at the first pitch.
Fouled it off. These were the Maine Endwell High School New York 4 straight football titles from, again, 11 to 14. The 30 for 30 special was called 62. The legendary streak of Maine Endwell High. To John's point, the tipping of the cap from the Little Leaguers to the football players is pretty cool. After they beat Rhode Island.
Jude the Stewed.
Jude the Stewed.
He can swing it.
That one down and early. Brock Duffer's having a hard time locating. A pretty patient at bat for Mancini.
And uncharacteristic.
I know for Jude.
From Jude
likes to hack. Late off that, 3-1. Thrown 9 pitches, only 2 have been strikes. That's a called strike. Jude celebrated his 13th birthday yesterday. I mean, what a buzzkill. We had rain, but we're surrounded by our buddies. Actually, a lot of buddies up there in the Grove to celebrate the birthday. Swings and misses, and he's gone. Good bounce back there from Duffer, who was behind 3-1.
A really big bounce back. And, I said it earlier, he's probably going to be into righties and away from lefties. And here you see Duffer, forcing fastball, just runs right in on the hands of Jude Abadessa. Gets that big strikeout, comeback strikeout.
Ryan Harlos bats now. Ball 1. Harlos was the pitcher in game 1. He went 3 for 3 in that game, hit a home run, double, and he knocked in 4.
Not a bad day.
No, that home run went to left. There are those numbers again. He wears number 19.
There he got one inside to a lefty. It's a really good pitch. You mentioned the home run that Harlos hit to left field. You got to get a long, angular kid like that. You got to try to get in there and jam him.
Harlos' nickname and his favorite movie you saw there was Sandlot. He's a big Benny the Jet Rodriguez guy. That's his Sandlot character. Center field, deep to the wall and way over it. Ryan Harlos' second home run in as many games and a 2-0 lead.
Oh boy.
About 260 feet away, John, and he's 4 for 4 with 2 homers here.
Yeah, you see, he's trying to get that pitch in on him, and we mentioned Duffer has been having trouble consistently trying to get inside on the lefties. Another pitch out over the plate, similar to his home run he hit in his first game against Rhode Island. He just reach out and flick it out over the fence.
Next batter, Connor Rush, the catcher. Off-speed pitch in there for a strike, but once again, New York has struck first in a game. Another one on the inside corner. 0-2. We're digging hard for that home run ball. I believe there's a grown man in there too, trying to find it.
Maybe it's some relation to Ryan Harlow.
Yeah, you never know.
He wants it bad.
You take the C from Connor and apply it to the last name, you get Crush. Fouled up here. There's the Crush sign. And again, with that shorter drive, a lot of fans, especially if they keep winning, you'll see a lot of blue. Those t-shirt sales in Endwell, New York have been blazing. The darker blue is the Mid-Atlantic shirts, all the moms and dads who sit in the stands.
And you know, we've seen all the teams play so far from the U.S. and you know, we keep talking about this team from New York, about the depth of their lineup, the great balance that they have in their lineup and their pitching. And they score early. When they score early, that pitching staff, they don't seem real fond of letting other teams score and have some fun, do they?
No. In the regionals, they went 4-0. They scored about 5.5 runs a game, and their earned run average was 150.
That wins a lot of them.
That'll get you some W's. Well, it's a good lesson for the other Little League teams at home. You see their numbers in the first 2 innings. They got to the regionals last year, lost to the team from Pennsylvania, and they came back again, and they made it to Williamsport. Second strikeout for Duffer.
And I think if you're Brock Duffer, you just, you know, and this team from Tennessee, you have to think that the way Mancini throws and the fact that Harlost is available too, that, you know, 2 might be the limit. You give up more than that, these kids just aren't giving up runs on the New York side.
Batting now is Jack Hopko, the 12-year-old, 5'6", 142-pounder. Identified Babe Ruth as his favorite player. Hoppy big into the bats and the Oakleys he gets. This one on the ground to first. Foot race, and it's won by the first baseman, Tyler Jones. But Maine, Endwell, New York, 20-0. And off to a great start as they literally dive into the pool with a home run as they try to go 2-0. They lead it 2-0 after 1. How are you? Welcome back, everyone. The Major League connection to Little League as these Little Leaguers look up to the Big Leaguers. The Big Leaguers love watching, and they like to hear when they are one of the kids' favorites.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Little League's where you really learn how to play the game and learn how to love it. To have kids look up to you is what this is all about. And my goal is to, when I'm done playing this game, to be looked at as a guy who gave it 100% every time and was a good example for kids and a good role model.
That was the New York Mets' Jacob deGrom, and look who was on the field pregame. Shaking the hands of the kids from both Goodlettsville, Tennessee and Endwell, New York. The commissioner of Major League Baseball, Rob Manfred, in his relaxed golf shirt look. And relating to those kids, since you were born, and welcome to the booth, in Rome, New York, which is not very far from Endwell, New York. So there's got to be a little kind of New York thing going on here.
Well, I told the print media downstairs, this is the first baseball game in 2 years where I could go and not be neutral. I'm rooting for New York today.
For people who don't know, geographically, how far from?
It's about 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours.
2 hours. It's interesting. Thomas Tull, the legendary picture guy from Maine Endwell, called me on Friday and told me to root hard.
He did.
Yes.
He's one of the few you listen to, I think, when he says root hard. Good rip, foul there from the number 4 hitter, Carson Rucker. Well, you and I were here a couple years ago, and you come back, and I think this is John's second or third time here. We do sit here and realize how fortunate we all are to just witness this. Aren't you amazed every time you come what it looks like here?
Well, you know, it's Americana. That's what it is. I mean, it's just an unbelievable scene. People so excited about the game. The kids are great. You realize it's all run by volunteers. You just can't say enough good things about the experience.
And what's your experience been as your year as Major League Commissioner? You wanted to bring more kids into the game, a whole bunch of initiatives out there. Have you seen some traction yet?
Well, we really have seen some traction. We had an uptick in youth participation of about 4% last year, which is the biggest number in a while. It's important to remember, you know, we're working hard in the youth space, but we have a great base to work with. For under 12-year-olds, baseball is still the most popular sport in the United States. And, you know, it's about the kids enjoying it in that under 12 group and making sure we hold on to them as they get a little older.
Carson Rucker looks at a 3-2 pitch, and there's a breaking ball. Now, you played Little League Baseball, and I know we can get into the whole thing about curveballs and whatnot, but have you seen something as efficient as this when you were playing?
No, this is the level of play is absolutely unbelievable. We were sitting behind home plate the first inning, and the first 3 breaking balls he threw, we were like, you got to be kidding me.
Jose Fernandez like.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unbelievable, and it showed with the first 2 hitters too. I mean, it's a tough pitch for kids to handle.
He has struck out 3 in a row. Ethan Jackson, the left fielder, bats now. You know, Little League, just like you guys, maybe they take their cue from you or vice versa, but they've tried to initiate in our consolation game some things to help the pace of play, like batters can't step out of the box. Who's given cues here, and how much byplay between all levels is there to make that happen?
Well, we realized when we started the youth initiative that as big as we are, that you can't handle the youth market alone. You need great partners, and Little League was at the top of our list. We have a really good relationship with Steve Keener. He traveled with us to Cuba this year, and that trip, I think, is going to bear some fruit for Little League in Cuba. And he's been very forthcoming about working with us on the pace of game issues, and it does start from the bottom up.
Ooh, how about 4 strikeouts in a row?
He was telling us a funny story about the not stepping out of the batter's box. The kid got warned in the consolation game.
Dropped his bat.
Yeah, he dropped his bat.
And he had to tippy toe the line to pick the bat up. And then another boy literally jumped out and jumped back in because he was thinking about, I got to do this really quickly if I'm going to do it. It was very cute. This is Robert Carroll, the right fielder. First pitch is a strike. He was the hero the other night. He hit that 2-out double, which resulted in the walk-off win for Tennessee in their first game over Oregon. See what happens when you throw strikes? You got people swinging at it. Innings move.
That's right. It goes right along.
This was your play earlier. Watch. He steps out, and he's told to kind of get back in, so he hustles back in.
I like that.
Work in progress. All right, Rob is going to stay for the next half because that half lasted like 11 seconds. 3 quick strikeouts of Rucker, Jackson, and Carroll. He has got all 6, 5 of them. Keep that foot in the box by Kay.
How about you, John? You too? You guys are really in.
We're back, and we remind everybody that Tuesday on ESPN, as you watch the kids go down the hill, Major League Baseball, and it should be a good one. Ellsbury and the Yankees take on the Mariners and the big 3 of Cano, Cruz, and Seager. And perhaps most importantly, for those of you that love the Hall of Famer Ken Griffey Jr., he's going to be in the broadcast booth with Rick Sutcliffe and Boog Shambi. And having spent a Gold Gloves dinner with Ken Griffey Jr., he's got a lot to talk about, loves to talk about youth sports too, especially his 2 kids that are playing. But I think it'll be a neat night to get the insight of Ken Griffey Jr. as he joins our group Tuesday at 10 Eastern time. Cages are busy. The kids from Canada down there hacking away. And boy, Siniscalchi the other day, the pitcher who's about 6'2". Wow, was he impressive.
Throwing in the 80s, Rob.
Yeah,
equivalent of 105.
I saw a little bit of him on TV the other day. He was impressive too.
Like having Aroldis Chapman on the mound. We'll start the bottom of the second, and it's Brody Raleigh who looks at a ball inside. So we've recently heard some news from you guys about, again, and I know you and I had that first conversation, and how radical are we going to get with changes, but you proposed or at least brought up the idea that, again, we're looking for things to do. Is that the general message?
Well, we took a really hard look at the game in the owners' meeting last week. Tony Petiti and Chris Marinac, one of the younger guys in the office, worked really hard on the presentation to show how much the game has changed. It was just designed to get the owners thinking about the fact that, you know, sometimes you fall into the trap, the game's the same. Well, the game isn't the same. And we wanted to show them how much it changed and begin the conversation of at least managing the change a little more carefully than we have in the past.
You know, we were all at dinner last night, a whole bunch of us, and we were just talking about how perhaps the people in the room that are having these discussions need to be people who aren't as familiar with the game perhaps as they are. You get some new blood, new thinking. Zach McWilliams throws out Raleigh. The idea that if somebody just were to show up for the first time and we're told, how do you design this game using a bat, a ball, and generally base pass, what would you do? Would it be 9 innings? Would it be 3 outs? Would it be 4 balls and 3? You know,
right.
Is there some of that thinking going on?
Well, it's interesting. I think that the people who are closest to the game in terms of general managers are more resistant to change than the owners actually are. I think the owners have the vision that you're talking about, a little broader vision of the game, and are more open to the idea. I had a bunch of people stop me on the way out of the owners meeting, and believe me, this is an unusual thing, say, you know, that's the best meeting we've ever had. Usually they don't come away with, with that view of the world. But I do think that there's interest among the owner group in looking hard at the product we're putting out there and thinking about whether we need to make some change.
Imagine part of the challenge for you guys is, rather than ask why, it's let's ask why not.
I agree with that, and I do think that there's something to dispelling the notion that the game that we're playing today is some sacred thing that hasn't evolved over time. It really is not, are you going to change it or not? The question is, are you going to allow it to change by itself, or are you going to manage the change? That's really the question.
And one of the biggest things is pace of play, times of games, all that stuff. I know you've probably been talking to Tony Clark and just from the Union.
James Fellows here, John, who sends one in the left for a hit. And he rounds first, and he's heading into second, and he's there with a double.
But I know, you know, I'm pretty certain you and Tony Clark have been discussing some issues with the pace of plays, or anything like, you know, things that you're looking at to say, you know what, let's try this.
Yeah, we have a series of things that we've put on the table that we want them to consider in terms of pace of play. I think the most important concept that we learned last year is we had some new rules, people got focused on it, and we got better. We did not have the same focus at the beginning of this year, and I think we've slipped back as a result. I think we need to find ways to keep the players focused on the pace of the game while they're playing.
I know a lot of, you know, look at the Kansas City Royals, last year's world champions, but Salvador Perez, a great all-star catcher, he can make some visits out to the mound.
Yeah, mound visits are a very hot topic of conversation. It's one of the places where you have to tiptoe around a certain senior baseball executive in my office as to whether those mound visits are all worthwhile or not. But both catchers and manager visits are an issue that I think we need to get our arms around.
I'm all for that.
Are we married to instant replay? Was that an experiment? Does it stay?
I think replay stays. I think that you will see additional changes in replay, and I think the changes in replay will generally be time focused.
Justin Ryan, Maine, Endwell, New York, and he fouls that one off.
You know, instant replay is like 1:32, I think, is the average time. It's not the 1:32 one that bothers him. It's the one that goes 4 minutes. Yeah. And, you know, I think if we could get rid of some of those outliers, we would help ourselves.
A lot of people look at a Little League game, and one of the things that appeal to them is the fact that it's a 6-inning game. 9 innings never goes away, or are we at least willing to say, well, like I said before, why not discuss it, and then we'll defeat it?
I think right now, in my mind, 3, 4, and 9 are sacrosanct. You're not going to mess around with those 3 numbers. That's really where my head is. I think we got a lot of changes that we can make that will make the game better without interfering with those fundamentals.
And the 162 versus 154, I think you and I have discussed. What about split seasons? So you have a first half and a second half?
Yeah, I think there's a lot that could be done in the schedule format area. You know, 100, John, you know better than I, 162 times in 183 days, lots of baseball, it's tough on the players, and I do think that there are changes that could be made there. You know, things that may not affect the number of games, things like geographic realignment could really reduce the amount of travel. It could help us in terms of scheduling in the postseason, and I think those things have to be on the table for us.
And the wild card for both American and National League has that ever thought about going to like maybe a best of 3 instead of just a 1 game?
I think that if we were going to go to longer postseason series, it would have to be in conjunction with a reduction in the number of games in the season. I think that's the only way that really makes sense. We got a lot of great playoff baseball in October, and I do think the 1 game gets us off to a fantastic start.
I agree 100%, but how are you going to convince the owners to have maybe 2 or 3 less gates a year if you drop the season down to 154, 156 games?
Right. I mean, I think that trade-off occurs to people. I think the 1 game, there's real value in it. We did it for a reason. We did it after talking with our broadcast partners, which is usually a good place to start in terms of how much excitement you're going to generate. I think the only complaint with it is it's just 1 game.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Maybe a reduced schedule, and we have 2 1 games. Increased playoffs. People love playoffs, and they love Little League. And they're enjoying you. Rob,
it's a
thanks
pleasure.
very much.
Good
to have you up here.
Thanks, John. Good to see you.
Yes, sir.
Fortunately, the rain got the best of us. You know, there's a monkey wrench thrown into this. You know, they got something to keep them occupied for a while.
We did the cardboard because we were told that the bags work better, and we tried them, and they actually do work better.
We would have scared the cat a little bit. Even though like, you get dirty,
it's more fun to get dirty than just stay clean.
Can you do one more?
What a difference a few hours can make. Went from a sloppy, muddy mess, and you still see some dampness up there in the hill, but it's dried out considerably, and the cardboard rolling again, if you will, down that grassy knoll. You get some wipeouts going on there, and it feels like we're just kind of back to normal in Williamsport, or South Williamsport, which is where Lombardi Stadium is located. We got a good game right now, 2-0. We're through 2 innings. Endwell, New York, and Tennessee. Kentucky and Iowa will play later tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern time, and all those in blue have been eliminated from title contention. Pretty good game when you talk about consolation. Japan and Texas. Sometimes that's reserved for Little League World Series championship games.
2 perennial powers going at it in.
This is where daughter's like, Dad, I got this one. See that? Daughter was in between Dad's legs and the cardboard wasn't moving. On the ground to short. Abadessa fielded it and threw it for the out. And important for all pitchers at Little League World Series, when you get the 1 pitch out and save those pitches.
Yeah, and that's what puts a premium on defense too. You know, you make an error, your pitcher has to throw more pitches, you know, just like in the big leagues. But yeah, 1 pitch out for Michael Mancini, and this is that's going to be after this game.
Just amazing how you just look out, ripped into left field. There's a hit, and that's the number 8 hitter, Ryan Oden, getting the job done. And maybe after the 5 consecutive strikeouts, there was a little change, like first pitch, if it's good, go.
Yeah, you know, I was always told you never give a strikeout pitcher a chance to strike you out. Now, he's going to at some point, but if you can put the first one in play, you got to swing at it, especially that looked like a hanging breaking ball by Michael Mancini right there. Ryan Oden jumped on it, and you got to think Tennessee has something working, because the top of the order is coming up here soon.
Yeah, with a couple of hits, hard hit balls. Looks like we're going to get a pinch hitter instead of Easton Dillard, the second baseman. John Luke Simmons, number 18, has a bat in his hands.
Looks like they're waiting. I don't know if they're waiting for a pinch runner.
5'8", 138-pounder. Mom Tina, Dad Rick. And this is a boy who loves the outdoors in Tennessee. Fishes for bass. And he's a big hunter as well as he swings and misses at that one. There are the parents. Mentioned Tina and Dad. Favorite athletes, Alex Wood. A couple of here. Oh, swing is and a miss.
I enjoy some bass fishing myself.
Do you?
Maybe me and him will hook up this off-season and go.
John Luke down that Tennessee area. A little high. He hunts deer, duck, and dove. He's a big fly fisherman too, so he likes tying the flies. His goal is to work as a wildlife management officer as an adult.
Tell you what also happens too, when the first guy swings at the first pitch, it's a hard hit ball. Second one hits a hard hit ball. Now Michael Mancini looks like he's trying to nibble a little bit.
Picks up a strikeout. They'll throw down to second as Oden took a few steps off the bag and didn't run. That's strikeout number 6. And now you're right, back to the top of the order. Tanner Jones grounded out to Jack Hopko at first, his first time up. Little fried dough going down. This is, if you're going to have it, today's the day to do it.
You know, I really have never found a bad day to eat. Just to be honest.
Like yesterday, rain outs, that worked out well.
Yeah, what do you do then? Eat.
You gotta eat. Gotta feed the machine.
Big fan of salads and.
You've changed?
Kale.
Kale, I know. Yeah. You're a kale guy.
Big kale guy.
One thing that I don't think's on the menu down there, kale.
Thank goodness.
The dreaded fried Oreo inside the dough. Yep. With powdered sugar on it.
Wow. Never enough sugar. Wow.
That's a good one there.
Really good breaking ball. 2-1. I mean, the last thing you expect a 12-year-old to do is throw a backdoor breaking ball.
Here it comes, 2-2 on the ground underneath the glove of the second baseman, and Tanner Jones has another hit. Hard guys to get out. Tanner and Tyler Jones, the twins at the top of the order.
And you talk to the coaches from these teams, and they'll tell you if you can get the bottom of your order on base and then you turn it over to the top, you like to feel good about yourselves, and that's exactly what's happening here for this team from Tennessee. After Ryan Oden got the base hit, of course you get the strikeout, but now, top of the order. And their two hottest hitters right now coming up in just a 2-run game.
Mancini was slowing down a little bit. Now we're going to get a conversation on the mound.
Thomas Tull's not going to put you in your legendary movie if you don't start pitching well. Start making our pitches. Hey, keep the ball low. Make your pitches, right? Hey, you got to make sure that the batter's not looking at you before you're making signs. That last pitch is staring right at you, right? Let's go. Hey, let's go. Make a play. Make a play. Keep it in the infield. Let's go.
Rob Manfred brought up Thomas Tull, and Thomas Tull is the CEO, founder of Legendary Pictures, which is a major motion picture corporation in California. And Thomas Tull has donated several $1 million to the school district, put lights there, a football field, and that was the reference to Legendary Pictures. He throws a strike there, and that's father telling son about pitching. You see the picture of Thomas Tull there. Legendary Pictures responsible for the Hangover movies, the 300 movies, a variety of other blockbuster movies. And one of the mottos of the team is just that, be legendary. Thomas Tull, friends with some of the coaches and whatnot, and has just been a huge supporter of sports in Endwell and that main Endwell school district. That one is held onto, and just after that meeting, Dad apparently got to son.
Let's go.
And he gives him a high five. So they strand a couple. They get to Mancini a little bit. 2-0 New York. Welcome back, everyone. ESPN's coverage of the Little League World Series presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. One of the few places you can actually find Tony the Tiger not on a box is here in Williamsport. And what a day, what a day. Look at the Susquehanna River, got a glisten to it. As aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. You call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Man, that's a picture postcard right there. And finally, want to remind everybody, Little League University is available to provide web-based training for coaches, umpires, league volunteers, and parents. Watch videos, review practice plans, or just see some ideas on ways to make baseball more enjoyable. Visit and join for free at littleleagueuniversity.org today.
I wonder if John Luke Simmons has been down to the river to fish since he's been here.
Fair question. I would think so.
I have to ask
this is
that.
A huge area for outdoor activities, in particular fishing. So they got 2 in the first, none in the second. They bat in the third. We're to the top of the order again for New York, and Michael Mancini bats.
I think it's a big inning for this team from Tennessee. You can't allow them to score any more runs. I don't think you're going to score 4 or 5 runs off Michael Mancini or this pitching staff from New York.
Your point's well taken, Little Leaguers. When they have a batter who affects them either by getting a hit, taking a walk, you can see the next couple of hitters. And here you're back to the top of the order, and everybody knows about the top of the order. These kids have seen each other enough, and it looks like Duffer's affected a little bit by who he's facing. He's fallen behind 3-0. It's almost backwards thinking because you really can't let them get on base, but you also know that they're dangerous hitters.
Yeah. Yeah, that's goes for a lot of these players from New York.
Later we'll see the team from Bowling Green, Kentucky. They and Goodlettsville practiced 5 times before they got here. They're separated by only about 40 miles.
Forgot to ask Michael Mancini before the game why he doesn't fasten his gloves when he's hit. When so many guys, you big leaguers, every pitch they step out. There you see him. They're on.
Nomar would be. He'd lose his. Nomar would lose his mind.
He wouldn't be able to hit.
No. Oof, that was a close one. Time to go down to Jamie. Our family interview is brought to you by Heinz.
Carl, thank you so much. I'm with a very special fan from this New York team. This is Blaze Brickster, and he doesn't have any brothers on the team, but he is a huge fan. Why have you been following this team around since regionals?
It's because it's just cool to always see them play, and it's fun to watch.
Now, I understand that you actually had a family vacation to Hawaii. You guys canceled it so you could be here. Why is it more important to you to watch this baseball team than to go to Hawaii on vacation?
It's just fun to watch these guys play, and they're a very good team, so I like it here.
Now, I know you said that you're a pitcher and what, second base? Is that right?
Yes.
Are you hoping that you are someday going to be able to play on this team?
Yes.
What would it be like to be here as a player in Williamsport?
It just looks so fun to always play on a baseball field.
It does look pretty fun, and I noticed you have a necklace here, and tell me a little bit about the necklace and what you did for the team.
This is a St. Sebastian necklace. He's a patron saint of athletes.
And did you get these necklaces for the entire team?
Yes.
What did they think when you guys gave that to them?
I heard that they were very happy.
They are. All right. Well, have a great time and best of luck. I hope to be interviewing you out there in a couple years. All right?
All right.
All right, guys, back to you.
Thank you, Jane, very much. We appreciate that. And Blaze, now, did we consult with the parents on the decision to opt out of Hawaii and come to Williamsport? I mean, I love the call, but I think they had to have something to say.
I don't think that was like a quick, over dinner. Hey, what do you think, Williamsport or Hawaii? I think they had to converse for a while.
Let that one sit. Well, Michael Mancini moved to second on a pitch that got away, and then he moved to third on the fielder's choice.
Jude Avedis is out of his game. He's taking too many pitches.
In the dirt, gets away. Mancini's going to come in and score the 3rd run for New York. So good base running there.
Yeah, really good base running for him to to third base on that ground ball that was in front of him, but he got a great secondary lead, a great break. You watch his, his instincts around the bases. They're really, really good. And trying to pitch careful to Harlos right here, you end up throwing that wild pitch.
Ooh. That front foot flew open.
He hit one to the left. He hit one to center. I think he was trying to go right there. He opened up quick on that one.
Look at those numbers: 4 for 4, 2 homers, 6 RBIs. Hit a homer in the first. Oh! Ouch. That one got him on the foot.
Here's Ryan Harlow's 2 home runs. Opening round against Rhode Island. He just reaches out and flicks it, kind of like Chase Utley, that little short abbreviated swing. And then this one right here, another pitch away. It reaches out and flicks one up in the bushes in dead center. 6 RBIs.
The only thing he's missing from a cycle in a couple of games is a single.
Yeah, those are irrelevant.
He's got the doubles and triples covered. Good job by Brock Duffer to strike him out. 5th strikeout for Brock.
Again, with no one on base, you can just start challenging that. I mean, that's right down the middle, center cut. Ryan Harlow's pulled off a little bit.
Connor Rush will bat now. Scott Rush is the manager of the team.
Connor hasn't gotten off the. He's not on the hit train yet. 0 for 4 in this Little League World Series.
And you know that the person, in spite of the fact they're all great hitters and they all do contribute. We saw James Fellows in the 7th spot hit a double. You're going to bat number 4. Going to be a good hitter in this lineup.
They are pretty well rounded, that's for sure.
3-0 pitch.
Ball 4.
.402 in the East. As you take a look at some of the kids walking around in between Lomity and Volunteer. Little League World Series presented by Kellogg's continues at 6. Canada and South Korea, and then Kentucky and Iowa. I've already seen a terrific game on the international side. Panama survives Australia. And there are the boys from the West. Saw some of their parents and fans last night out. There's a great comfort level with Victor Lizarraga, who was their starting pitcher last game. You just sort of give it to him and he wins. They're 8-0 in elimination games, that team from California, John.
And every game they play from here on out is going to be an elimination game for them since they lost that first one here.
Jordan Owens has gone in as a special pinch runner there for Connor Rush, who's the catcher, which I understand, to get the equipment back on, give him a little breather. And this is Jack Hopko. Hoppy to his friends. Say this about Duffer. He's throwing a lot of pitches. He's not missing. He's not missing by a lot.
No, he's not missing badly at all. Very close pitches, but I think that tells you the grind that it is to pitch against his team from New York. They're very disciplined hitters, and the guy who shouldn't be disciplined, Jude Abadessa, he's trying to be disciplined today, and he's 0 for 2.
1-4.
67 pitches now of 85, and that's back-to-back walks. Makes life a little more challenging for Joey Hale, the manager.
Isaiah 5 for 14. He'll go to right field. Carroll goes to center field. Ryan will be on the mound.
So now we know exactly what the move's going to be.
Okay.
Ryan Oden looks like he's going to come in from center field to pitch. And we'll go to a timeout as we continue with the series, 3-0 New York.
Enjoy the moment, man. Enjoy the moment. You're going to...
Welcome back, everyone. And right there you can see the fans here in Williamsport enjoying the Subway family photo booth. Photo bombed by Dugout.
Dugout gets in there with everything, doesn't he? Down on the field, dancing with the kids in their little team from Tennessee's little huddle.
He's everywhere. And now our fresh take from Williamsport, brought to you by Subway. The remaining unbeatens all in action today. The defending champions have been eliminated from title contention. Japan goes 0-2. South Korea, I guess, maybe jumps to the forefront of favorites on the international side, only because this is their 4th trip here. And that country has never lost a game at the Little League World Series. So they got 3 titles already, and perhaps with Japan out, they become the favorite.
Depending on how the pitching matches up for Canada. If that, if he pitches, I don't.
John's got a little crush on.
I don't see anyone beating him.
Siniscalchi. How about Ryan Oden? He's going to throw now for Tennessee.
Yeah, so it looks like he's kind of a guy that steps across his body a little bit, like Jared Weaver.
So setting the outfield, Ethan Jackson, Robert Carroll in center, Isaiah Page in right, Zach McWilliams, Carson Ruckers at short, Easton Dillard's at second, Tyler Jones stays at first, Tanner Jones behind the plate. And batting for New York, Brody Raleigh. Grounded out to third his first time up. Inside on the hands.
And that's the issue Brody Riley's going to have right here. You know, a crossfire, you have to try to keep that front shoulder in, thinking he's going to go away. Comes in, it's never a comfortable feeling.
His nickname is B. His dad was a hitting coach for the 2003 Marlins and was there as part of that World Series team. That one hit him, and all of a sudden, the bases are going to be loaded. So a walk, and now a hit batter, John, and big-time trouble, perhaps.
Yeah, James Fellows up, who doubled in his only at-bat today. Double right here. You'd have to think it. You hate to say anything and put the game away, but
so don't.
The way this team from New York pitches, though, Carl, threes.
On the ground, tricky hop, fielded well to second. Oh, out, and we'll see if that one gets reviewed. Looked like Easton Dillard was jumping as he got to the bag just at the same time that Raleigh slid under him. We'll see if Scott Rush goes out to talk to the umpire. Watch the foot of both guys.
Wow. Who makes that call?
They need another angle.
Yeah.
Here's a better angle. I think he got his foot on the bag.
I think he got him.
I think Easton Dillard got his foot down on the bag as he came across. That was a nice play by the shortstop, Carson Rucker. That ball had some significant topspin to it.
Unbelievable play. We've seen so many when a shortstop's been, or in middle infielders backing up on a ball, just goes between their legs.
As the umpires talk about it, it's a great opportunity to just remind everybody how strong these kids are fundamentally. That's a throw on the run, and that left toe does get down there before Raleigh's foot slides in as a base runner.
You know, bases loaded, though. Good challenge by New York, but
yeah.
And again, we're the lucky ones. We get to see 3 or 4 replays to determine. They don't get to see replays. The coaches for these teams don't get to, they have to do it by what the players telling them, and if one of the base coaches saw it. But I noticed the third base coach, he signaled immediately to the bench, check it. So,
and this is an umpire review. This would not be charged to New York. The umpires decided to look at it, and the call is out. So a real nice play by Rucker and Dillard on the middle of the infield, and important that they keep their deficit at 3. We're halfway through at the Little League World Series.
I hope you'll please listen to me now, because more important than winning is sportsmanship. It's a nod to the other team, a tip of the cap, a handshake. It's a smile, a lesson to take from Little League to life.
And it's a lesson that we all could benefit from. It's one of those things we talked about as we began our coverage here, how so many cues we get from 12-year-olds. And we're going to remind everybody as the Little Leaguers hand out their awards. Congratulations to Matt Pokorny, the Challenger Award winner. He was on the field and honored before the game. And of course, this weekend we'll have the Challenger game over at Volunteer Stadium. So important to get everybody involved with baseball. And it's just not a question of getting to Williamsport to play. It's just about getting out there and playing and learning those valuable life lessons. And certainly when you get here, it is so emphasized by the uncles who take care of these kids. And I really do get the impression that most of the parents involved too stress how important sportsmanship is. Take a look at some of the uncles. Uncle Lee is down there. He's with the Mid-Atlantic team. Got a chance to spend some time with them before the game. They were joking that the kids are probably well behaved, more so than even the coaches are. You don't have to worry about the 12-year-olds. It's the adults in the group.
Well, I can see that. I think the teams that I coached down in Florida, I'm sure they would say the same thing.
Just watch the kids. They can teach so much. 2-1 to Zach McWilliams. Spinner up the middle. It's going to be a tough play. That thing had more English on it than a dictionary, John, as Raleigh couldn't come up with it.
Yeah, that ball had so much spin on it. Michael Mancini thought it was hit harder. He kind of shied away from it.
Little League Grow the Game grant program created to provide local Little Leagues the resources they need for general improvement and to expand or establish Little League softball, Challenger divisions, and Little League urban initiative programs. For more information, visit littleleague.org/grow the game. All right, leadoff batter on, Zach McWilliams. Give him a hit.
You see now this team from Tennessee, they're coming out more aggressive, swinging the bats. You know, last inning they were more aggressive, and now this inning again, they're not going to give Michael Mancini, try not to give him a chance to strike you out.
Mancini's probably as good a fielding pitcher as there is at this level. And he strikes out Rucker on 3 pitches. Second time Rucker's been thrown out, and a quick throw to first nearly got McWilliams.
We know what kind of arm that Ryan Harlow's has. We've seen him pitch. Obviously behind the plate he's got one too, huh?
Take a look at how quick he throws this down there. And it was just on the right side of the bag too.
Looked like Zach McWilliams put his head down a little bit coming back. Made it a closer play than it should have been.
Ethan Jackson a little late. You get to Rucker, Jackson, and Carroll. This part of the order, they struck out in order in the second. So we'll see if Mancini remembers that and continues to throw strikes. That one got away a little bit.
Yeah, that's the one we saw in the regional finals. That fastball that he lets go a little too early and it goes up and in on the right-handed hitters. Then he usually comes back with a breaking ball. Hello.
Like that. Doesn't take long to figure out the patterns, does it?
No, but it's hard for a kid, though, to take a fastball up near the head and then all of a sudden set on a breaking ball.
That was the game we saw, the 5 innings, 12 Ks.
It's hard for big leaguers to do it too, Carl. Let's not forget that.
Chases that one. Throw down to second. That's the only place to get the out. The batter is out with first base occupied. The tag had to be made and it wasn't. So down to second base goes McWilliams as Ethan Jackson is retired. That's the 9th strikeout for Mancini.
And great heads up, not only by the runner, McWilliams, but also by Ryan Harlow. So how many kids would pick that ball up and see the kid run to first and try to fire it down to first? He came up just gunning to second base trying to get McWilliams advancing on that wild pitch.
Because Maine Endwell, New York is only 112 miles away here, we've seen the 2 largest crowds on the hillside, and today is just a gorgeous day. But we've seen the largest crowds here when Maine Endwell plays. I mean, a couple of years ago, we saw the team from Clinton County, and we had crowds in excess of 40,000, 50,000. You likely won't get there. And this team from Maine Endwell beat a team from Clinton County in the regional final in Bristol. But they're bringing some people with them. Like John Henry Knotts, number 7, who's hitting now, and you can see the frustration. It's got to be brutally hard to come off the bench, face a guy throwing curveballs, breaking balls like that. Here's your 0-2. Won't chase it. It gets by Harlost, and now
brings him home. Base hit brings him home.
To third base goes McWilliams. Base hit brings him home. Another pass ball or wild pitch brings him home too.
Yeah, that's a tough thing to go when that's your rally.
Right.
Base hit, 2 wild pitches get you to third, and you hope for another one to score.
1-2. Hopko makes it look easy, and Henry Knotts retired. New York's got only 2 hits. They got 3 runs. It's a perfect day for an ice cream. It's a perfect day for Little League baseball. Hard to imagine not enjoying it and realizing this is the life. Great way to wrap up the summer before the fall hits and we all head back to school. Our Honda game summary at Lamade Stadium, New York, leading Tennessee 3-0. Michael Mancini's been great on the mound for the team from Maine Endwell, New York. Tanner Jones, one of the Twins, 1 for 2. He's got a single. The team from Goodlettsville, Tennessee. Bottom 4 of the 6-inning game. It's the bottom of the order for New York. And Jaden Fanera will bat first. Whew.
And now with the fact that New York only has 11 players, they have to get their pinch hitter, they have to get an at-bat, and then 2 innings in the field, right?
Yes. Looked uncomfortable there.
Yeah, well, I'd love to say that I've never taken that swing, Carl, but I'd be lying to you.
You saw that graphic about starting 2-0. As he did get some bat on it, this is going to be a tough play. Nice scoop over there at first by Tyler Jones to retire the very speedy Jaden Fanera. Zach McWilliams and Tyler Jones.
All around good play. Slow hit ball. Look how far Zach McWilliams goes to his left to field his ball, and then the great pick. Fundamentally sound. Look how low Tyler Jones stays on this ball. The swipe of the glove sticks in. Look at that. That's beautiful.
Billy Dundon will bat in the 9 spot. Well, that one's inside. 8 straight 2-0 starts for Little League World Series champions. And one of these 2, and the team tonight that wins will be 2-0. Well, that didn't miss by much either. Ryden Oden came on to pitch when Brock Duffer was pulled from the game.
We don't need another baseball up here in this booth.
I'm going to get the next one as long as it's not an atom ball. I mean, people always are kind of harping on the fact that you caught it, but it was hit directly at you.
I had no choice.
You had no choice. Left side of the infield, getting it done. First it was McWilliams. That's Carson Rucker. This was that play. And again, look where the ball's going. I mean, that's squaring you up.
Right in the center of the chest, that would have hit me.
And a supportive teammate.
Well, when Rob Manfred was up here, that's all I kept thinking. Like, okay, what if I reach out? One's coming toward him. He's not paying attention. I reach out and whiff it, and it hits him.
Oof.
Never call another game ever.
That's a nifty quick inning for Ryan Oden. Ground ball to third, ground ball to short, ground ball to short. That was Mancini, who now is going to go back to the mound and see if he can continue his job. John, look what's coming.
Hello.
You want more sugar?
Yep.
More?
Sure.
More. Welcome back, everyone. ESPN's continuing coverage of the Little League World Series presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Carl Ravitch, John Kruk, Jamie Sire, Williamsport on the right side of the Susquehanna River, South Williamsport on the left side, and that's where you see the blimp pulling its shot back to the two beautiful facilities here, Lomity Stadium, Volunteer Stadium. World Series presented by Kellogg's continues tonight on ESPN. Bowling Green, Kentucky, very good team, deep pitching. Their #1 starter, Isaiah Head, didn't pitch in the opener, and he's not scheduled to pitch tonight against Johnston, Iowa. So we'll get a chance to see just how solid that depth is for Bowling Green, Kentucky. And I mentioned how that team and this team from Goodlettsville had scrimmaged each other even before the district started. Ouch. That hurt. Mancini drills Isaiah Page, who was just brought in to hit for the first time. And we'll see if they can take advantage of getting a leadoff runner on. Incoming for John Kruk. I mean, you place the order, and there's a bunch of Oreos floating. And they are floating, although.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Carl.
Outstanding effort, Dirk. Thank you.
Dirk, you're the best.
That'll quiet Crucky down during the breaks.
Yeah, you get during the breaks, during the rest of this inning.
We talk about sportsmanship all the time as you dive into your first Oreo. After Page got hit, he went back to the bench for a moment, and as he did, he ran by Michael Mancini, who shook his hand and apologized for hitting him.
Yeah, that's the thing you love about watching these young kids play, how they respect one another. It's beautiful.
It is. It's what it should be. Especially at this level. It has to be that.
It has to be. And that's, you know, I was always taught from a young age, respect your opponent, respect your teammates, and respect your opponents too.
This is R.J. Moore getting a chance to bat now. Unlike New York that carries just 11 players, Goodlettsville, Tennessee brings 13, so everybody has to get at least one at bat. There's no requirement to play in the field. Oof. RJ swings wildly at that one, and he's going to take the bat back to the dugout. Strikeout number 10 for Michael Mancini.
Again, he goes to that breaking ball. Seems to be his bread and butter strikeout pitch in this one.
All right, here comes E.D. Easton Dillard spends a lot of his time juggling, John. Juggling just about anything you put in front of him. He can juggle 3 basketballs. Learned how to juggle in gym class.
Maybe he needs to come up to the booth for the
juggle
next game and juggle some Oreos.
This is Easton's first at bat. Good swing at it. The 5', 98-pounder.
John Wayne. Favorite actor, John Wayne.
How about it? Well, how does he know who John Wayne is?
I have no idea.
I barely know who John Wayne is.
Netflix, is that what that's called? I don't know.
You got to believe that Easton is being driven by Dad Greg and Mom Natalie on that. He went, he didn't think he did, and if he had John Wayne in his corner, Wayne would come out and talk to the home plate umpire about that.
Yeah, he wanted to tell you, partner. Yeah, it's so hard to tell because, you know, a lot of guys you see the bat cross home plate, but he has such a big turn. Like I would think he would be a great golfer. He has such a big turn that the bat comes with it.
All right, now William Pellot, the home plate umpire, and Robert Zapata were discussing it. But would have been the 11th strikeout for Mancini. So not a reviewable play. That's probably what the message is going to be.
It's not.
So there are going to be 2 down.
I think the home plate umpire came back for verification, and yes, it's not. He said not re, and then the mic cut out.
You're attaching viewable to the end of not re.
I can read lips.
Well, with Tanner Jones now up, the leadoff guy who had a single and a man on, this is a big part of the game.
Doing well with curveballs with him, right?
Yeah.
So let's get him out. Hey, let's knock it down. Let's get this 3rd out, right?
I'm not going over 65.
Now, well, 65 brings you to Friday, which is an off day. So we're good. All right, let's go. Yeah, we're going to do curves. All right, let's go.
Kind of a little sneak peek at the schedule. Friday is an off day here, barring any other weather issues. But the winner of this game will play again on Wednesday. And the team that's 2-0 and wins on Wednesday night is in the United States Championship game on Saturday, which could very well, if they continue to win, and they haven't lost yet, be this team from New York with Mancini on the mound. Popped up. Is anyone going to get it? No. Raleigh, Rush, and Mancini all went after it, but another chance for Tanner Jones.
You heard Michael Mancini's dad came out and told him, he said, we got this guy with curveballs, let's throw him curveballs. And that one got deep in Tanner Jones' kitchen right there.
He can hit it out if it's a hanger. Well, fastball up, goes by him. 0-2. What a pitching performance from Mancini. Again, he had 12 in that regional championship. Another one would be a dozen today. What do you like about him as a pitcher?
His mechanics are great. He can repeat his delivery so often.
Wow.
And strike a bunch of guys out.
Number 12, Tanner Jones, is the 12th strikeout victim.
Let's get some run support.
Of Michael Mancini.
Let's put this out of reach.
Yeah, 3, at least 2.
We're at 2, 3, 4. Let's go.
They do have 2, 3, and 4 coming up, and this is the kid that has been outstanding, composed, calm, and right now getting the job done for Maine, Endwell, New York.
Little League World Series is presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes cereal. They're great.
Looking down at this unbelievable facility in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Our aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. You call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV. Volunteer Stadium on the left. It has been hosting all the international games, and the one on the right-hand part of the screen, Lomity Stadium. Tonight, Kentucky and Iowa will be there at 8 o'clock Eastern Time as the World Series presented by Kellogg's continues this evening. Canada and South Korea. Thrilled to watch South Korea play, the way that they all hammer the ball, and they're all big kids. I mean, every one of them is about 5'7" or taller, it looks like. And they have a blast. One thing about the South Korean kids, you talk to all the others about life up there in the Grove, and South Korea have fun. The teams from Latin America, they were up late last night. That one hard hit and a tough hop for Eastern Dillard. And aboard is Jude Abadessa. Went right through the legs.
No outs, right?
He got out of his comfort zone, Jude Abadessa did, by taking too many pitches. He comes up here against Ryan Oden, first pitch swinging, and again, that's those high hops that you have to charge, try to get it either in the air on the short hop, but let the ball play him, goes between his legs, and now leadoff batter on base.
And Ryan Harlost, who's a home run hitter. First pitch swinging. Yeah, the lesson there is for the fielder, charge that ball, try as hard as you can to get it before it hits the dirt on a hop. Eduardo Perez talks about that all the time during our Baseball Tonight telecasts. The great infield coach Perry Hill of the Marlins. If it's bouncing, you got to get it before it bounces on that dirt. And here's an 0-2 to Harlost. Won't chase it.
I'm pretty impressed with Ryan Oden. He got a nice arm.
Got the old Jared Weaver of the Angels crossfire approach. That's a good one on the corner, and Harlost is gone. He certainly has kept his team very much in this. The problem is Mancini's been so good on the mound. A couple of the coaches from the Mid-Atlantic side said apparently a fire drill was had last night, or an alarm went off or something. This is a bleeder, and it's going to be trouble. It drops in between the second baseman and the right fielder, running to third as the ball is fielded cleanly, so no one comes home, is Abadessa, and New York has men at second and third. But to finish the story, the fire alarm goes off, and kids are outside, and by about 10 minutes into it, they're all having a blast.
Yeah, and Carl, we mentioned Connor Rush has yet to get a hit in this Little League World Series. Little jam shot, base hit, but great running by Jude Abadessa. He didn't hesitate. As soon as he saw it fall off the bat, he knew it was going to drop. Gets to third, and Connor Rush follows him to second on the throw.
Jack Hopko now bats the left-hander, a little late on that swing. Chance right here to all but put this one out of reach. Oh, good job behind the plate, Tanner Jones. Abadessa itching to score from third.
And one out, it's fifth inning. You only got 3 more outs to play with. You got the infield playing back.
Yeah, especially on that right side. He grounded out to the first baseman his first time up. Ooh.
Be big right here. Ryan Oden can get the strikeout against Jack Hopko.
Looks like Jack's starting to see the ball a little bit better. Those last 2 foul balls hit pretty solid.
Yeah, on pitches away too. So it's not like he's, getting jammed and flipping balls that way. He's looking out there, and you wonder if it's one of these situations where Ryan Oden tries to go inside with a good fastball. Don't speed his bat up.
Good pitch, and Hopko, who fouled a couple off, strikes out. 2 down now in the inning. This is why Goodlettsville, Tennessee's back here. They are a good Little League program with pitching depth. .24 pitches.
You guys are trying to do way too much. Put the ball in play in the outfield. We got 2 runs, right? Stay back, hit it on the barrel. Don't jam yourself.
Loser of this game will be
John Henry come in. You're coming in. We're going to let RJ go out and play some defense. Hey, good job. Good job. What's the Caribbean word for thank you?
Thank you.
Yeah. You're supposed to know this, man. Let me know tonight. Let me know now.
I have a whole lesson.
Oh, a whole lesson? Okay.
For tomorrow?
Yeah, he can go tomorrow. All right. Enjoy the moment. Have fun. All right. Have fun. Let's win, and then we don't play tomorrow. All right. Let's finish this off.
Yeah, that was the key to that whole deal. Why we're taking the pitcher out. The loser of this game will play tomorrow, and then be forced to continue to play all the way until Friday. Pitching change here. Want to remind everybody tonight, 11, right after Baseball Tonight. End your day on a highlight with SportsCenter at night. Bucci and Anderson. That's John and John. They're going to handle the hosting duties and the highlights from the major leagues. One thing we didn't get into with the Commissioner Rob Manfred was just how good the races are in the wild card, both American and National League. Your NFL camp news, everything else from around the world of sports. SportsCenter at night on ESPN, streaming live on Watch ESPN. and the ESPN app. Other news today, significant for Major League Baseball. Steven Strasburg goes on the 15-day DL. Elbow issue. We've seen him struggle here his last couple of starts, and for a guy that got off to a 15-1 start, that's a big deal in the National League East and perhaps the National League playoff picture. All right, so the pitching change brings Robert Carroll in from the outfield. He's got Brody Raleigh at the plate, and third and second are occupied by Jude Abadessa and Connor Rush. Wow, he ducked right underneath it.
Tell you what you love about Little League. Look who's playing second base for the team from Tennessee.
Yeah, the lefty.
Lefty.
Tyler Jones has moved over to second. They got two lefties over there. You were a left-handed shortstop, weren't you?
Yeah, I actually played second base one game. Turning the double play is a tad difficult.
You think? What do you catch it and like spin totally?
I caught one and I came across the base and did a 360 turn,
yeah,
and got underneath it and threw it almost across the street. Like, well, that didn't work.
Big pitch for Robert Carroll, 1-2 with 2 outs. Good one there. So smart move by the man that has been managing at the Little League World Series twice now, Joey Hale. He saves his pitcher. He comes in to get the out. 3-0. We're heading to the 6th. Looking forward to tonight's action. Little League World Series presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Canada outstanding with Siniskalchi on the mound. Now we'll see about their depth. They take on South Korea. That starts about an hour and 10 minutes from now, right here on ESPN. Kentucky and Iowa, 8 o'clock Eastern time. And we'll get a chance to see the great story, JT Garcia, his mom who has pancreatic cancer, his dad. We got a chance to visit with JT, who came up to our booth and talked with us for a while. And what a smart, brave, wonderful young man he is. We'll have much more on his story tonight. That's at 8 Eastern. Michael Mancini. He's got 73 total pitches, 12 strikeouts. And he throws a ball. Ultimately, he's got 11 pitches, now 10, to get the first 2 batters out if he wants to try to finish it before the 85 pitch threshold. And now behind 2-0. And one thing about these kids, they're very aware of the pitch count.
Yes.
Very aware. There's a big scoreboard.
We saw that in the regionals when they getting into 4th, 5th inning. They're looking up every pitch to see where they're at.
May have caught a break there on an outside pitch called the strike. 76 pitches now thrown. And the 2-1. Way outside, 3-1.
And that's a thing. You know, you can see, you know, Michael Mancini's command has been pretty good this entire game, but you know, I'm sure they told him, hey, we need quick outs right here, and now he's kind of throwing it everywhere.
Ooh. He's getting the outside call. You can see Tyler Jones thought so too. It's a big pitch for Mancini to try to finish it off if he can. A little blooper to third. No, cannot get it.
Good effort right there by Brody Raleigh. Like he wanted to try to catch that barehanded.
He did. Kevin Mitchell. On the corner, that's a good one there. That one did get a piece of the plate. And a third time that Tyler Jones has struck out today, and Mancini picks up strikeout number 13.
He has 4 more pitches if he wants to complete this game. He can throw over 85 pitches if he starts the hitter before 85.
Uh-oh, Zach McWilliams left field and long gone.
I knew you'd get your first one today. Good job.
Souvenir, and end of a long string of not getting much production. Zach McWilliams hit that one really well to left field.
Now you have to wonder if Michael Mancini goes over the 85 pitch limit, you wonder if they're going to bring in Ryan Harlow. But there's a first pitch breaking ball, and we said it. The team from Tennessee, you know, they're not going to give him a chance to try to get ahead in the count. They started swinging early, but they're bringing him in.
Hey, Michael, way to pitch. Outstanding job. Let Ryan come in and finish it off for you. Great job. Great job. No, go to short. Jude, you go to second. You come in. Okay. Tell James, hey, you're going to left. Tell James to go to right. Okay, you come in. Ryan, loosen up.
So we're moving bodies all around as Jackie Mancini claps for her son and the entire team. 13 strikeouts. And perhaps the more important number for Mancini and Endwell, no walks. When you do strike a lot of those people out, you do get a high pitch count.
Yeah, pitch count kind of seems to rise when you're throwing 4 or 5 to each kid. Let's just watch the whole repertoire of pitches for Michael Mancini. There's that breaking ball that we saw in the regional. That's a great one right there, down at the back foot. See how he locks up the right-handed hitters, but he still has enough fastball to get it inside on both sides of the plate. And when he does throw that pitch, of course, you have to start it a little earlier, and now the breaking ball comes for more strikeouts. Just a dominant performance by Michael Mancini.
He's eligible to pitch again on Saturday. Saturday is, of course, the United States and International Championship games. Winner of this one will play Wednesday, and if the team that wins Wednesday wins, they move to the United States Championship game. So again, you take a look at what's at stake. The winning team faces the winner of Kentucky, Iowa on Wednesday. That game's winner goes to the United States Championship game. The losing team will play California, which is never easy, the way that they seem to be more and more confident in an elimination game. We've seen Ryan Harlow before. He started the first game for New York. It was outstanding. First pitch he throws is a ball. And he'd likely be the starter on Wednesday if they win, so he's got 35 pitches to play with. This one to right field. Nice running catch by James Fellows. That was hit hard from Carson Rucker, and a terrific running catch by the right fielder James Fellows. They just moved him to right field.
That's why coaches get paid the big bucks. Put the guy long and lanky. James Fellows just ran that ball down. Tell you what, that gets over his head. This is a whole different ball game. But now with 2 outs, you'd have to think that, you know, Harlow is going to probably has a good chance of shutting him down right here.
This is Ethan Jackson. That one's in there for a strike. Fellows made a nice defensive play in the first game as well. And again, you look for well-rounded teams. So far, this team from Maine Endwell has shown they can do just about everything well. Michael Mancini's now at shortstop after his 13 strikeout effort on the mound. Folks and fans of Goodlettsville standing, watching. New York a strike away from moving on to a Wednesday night game.
Oh, look at the fans from New York up now. 1 strike away from moving on.
Also 1 ball away from being the tying run to the plate. It's probably a smart play by Joey Hale down there not to pick that one up.
I don't even attempt it when I'm coaching bases.
Joey's got a terrific disposition about him, and he really has this Little League World Series thing down. His perspective is outstanding. calm voice for these kids. Here's the 3-2. Center field, Jordan Owens right there, and New York improves to 2-0 and is in ideal position to move on to a United States championship game with Michael Mancini perhaps on the mound on Saturday, and the guy we just saw throw the last strike there, ready to pitch on Wednesday. Lining up well for New York, their first 2-0 start at the World Series since 1964. And we mentioned the last 8 teams that have won the Little League World Series started 2-0. John, it was the same well-balanced attack with just outstanding starting pitching that we saw throughout the regionals, and they now improve to 21-0 this summer.
Yeah, and, you know, you look at the line score, and the line score tells you that yes, New York won 3-1, but the team from Tennessee had 4 hits. The team from New York only 3 hits, but they didn't make any errors. They walked a bunch. They had a hit by pitch, and when they get on base, one big hit and puts the game out of reach.
Bowling Green, Kentucky, Johnston, Iowa. The winner will play 7:30 Eastern time on Wednesday against Endwell, New York, and they will play in front of a very big crowd as more and more folks from the southern tier hop on the bandwagon that is continuing to grow, this main Endwell, New York Little League team. They win at 3-1 behind Mancini's 13 strikeouts. And he is with Jamie Sire. Jamie?
He certainly has 13 strikeouts today. How does that feel?
Amazing. I didn't even know I had 13 strikeouts.
You did? Well, you did. I mean, what did you have working for you? The guys upstairs really impressed by your breaking ball.
Thank you.
Yeah. More importantly, you guys are 2-0 in this tournament. What does that mean to this team right now?
We have our confidence and keep playing how we do. Things can turn out good.
Congratulations. Go enjoy it with your team.
Thank you.
Guys.
All right, James, thank you very much. And yeah, I mean, if somebody's going to say you're impressed with this breaking ball, you may as well say thank you.
That's how polite these young men are. And if you've been around enough big league pitchers, they know how many strikeouts they have when they leave the game.
They do.
It's nice to see that we have a kid. Okay, who cares? We won. That's great. And thank you for that. But hey, 3-1 win. We're moving on without a loss. I'm good with that.
Yeah, they also you could see raised their hands, several of them, when they went to 2-0, which is just not easy to do against the stiff competition that's here. And on the other side, Goodlettsville, Tennessee will have to now try to move out of an elimination bracket, and we know how challenging that can be as well. But it's a real good team with 2 great hitters at the top, the twins in Tanner and Tyler.
Yeah, they're not out of this thing yet. They had a struggle today. Look, I'm sure these kids have never seen a breaking ball like Michael Mancini. Yeah. So, you have to think that they're going to come back and score runs and still be a part of this thing after their next game.
6 p.m. the Little League World Series continues. Get a chance to see Canada. Remember, that team from Canada knocked off Japan in its first game. That's at 6 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN. And then, of course, our game, Kentucky. The boys from Bowling Green, who have played a handful of games against these kids from Goodlettsville as a precursor to getting to Williamsport. Who knew they would both be here? And they are. Another legendary performance if you're a 13-year-old pitcher. You strike out 13. His last 4 games, you had 13 to 32. He struck out 45 in his last 4 games.
That's 45. That'll work in a 6-inning game. Yeah, that's good. But how are you going to beat them if Mancini comes in to pitch, and then when they take him out, they bring in Ryan Harlow, who's as good.
Yeah.
Tough deal for Tennessee.
It is, and they considered not having Mancini start this game. A good win for New York and a good game overall. Our final 3-1, and again, we'll see you at 6 on ESPN with more baseball now around the horn.